All right, hello everyone. Good evening to you from Kyiv, Ukraine. You're welcome to today's episode on life transforming testimonies. And my name is Anu Ojo, and I'm your host for today's program. Well, you're very much welcome, our friends watching us on Facebook, and if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you very much for joining us. We've had a whole month, of amazing testimonies from individuals from different parts of the world, and it has been life transforming. Their journeys, their testimonies, their experiences, their lessons have really blessed us tremendously. And today we are having another guest who will be sharing our own experience with us, our journey. And today's title, as you can see on your screen, is DSA Helped Me Recreate My World. I think that's fantastic. And I want to believe that this should be the desire of everybody. This should be, not just the desire, but this should be the reality of every one of us. We all need to recreate our world. We are all born into this world, but then the responsibility is on us, the onus is on us to recreate our world, to chart the course and the path for our lives and our destiny. And today we have a guest who, she's giving thanks to God, and also thanking Dr. Sunday, for helping her in recreating our own world. And if you want to learn and to know how to recreate your world, then you have to stay tuned till the end of today's discussion. It's going to be a wonderful time, and I hope that you would share this video, invite your friends, invite your family members for them to join in today's discussion. Awesome. And like we announced, Dr. Sunday has a new book, and the book is titled Why I Write Books and Why You Too Should Write Yours. Why I Write Books, Why You Too Should Write Yours. That's the book right there. So I'm going to encourage everybody who is watching to go ahead, go to Amazon, order this book, and get answers to why Dr. Sunday is so so devoted and committed to writing books, and why he's also encouraging you to write your own book. All right, so today we have a beautiful lady with us. She's she's joining us all the way from the United States of America, and her name is Adeola Alli-Atekoja. Good evening to you, Ma, from Kyiv, Ukraine.
Hi, Dr. Anu. Good afternoon to you from the United States. I bring greetings from Baltimore City. It's a hot afternoon here. Beautiful. And I'm so happy to be on this platform today.
Awesome. I guess you're going to compete with me with that smile. I thought I was the only one who had that amazing smile, but your smile is almost like it's going to beat mine.
Yes. That's my default mood anyway. It's good.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, it's your smile itself, it brings joy. It's difficult to see someone smiling and not want to smile back. So I feel very comfortable, with your smile.
Thank you very much, Dr. Anu.
Awesome. You're very much welcome. How are you doing today over there in Baltimore?
Wow, we've been doing great. Thanks to God. As a nursing mother of 3, I had to wake up very early this morning, try to put things, I have a 9-month-old baby, still, get the family, set everything up, and make sure I show up early and to get myself here, Those are some of the diary of a nursing mother, so to say. But outside of that, it's been a great moment for me. During this lockdown, it has been one of the best moments of my life. And that is why I'm here today. I can't wait to share my excitement and what has changed and transpired from my journey.
Beautiful. So the lockdown has been one of the best moments of your life. Then what you just did was that you just raised my curiosity from 0 to 100. Because this lockdown for a lot of people and for some people is been really tragic for them. A lot of people, have been, they're just waiting for the lockdown to be over. Many people actually even got depressed. And I even read in news at some point that, people who suffered from different addictions were having relapses because they don't know what to do again with their time, and it's actually affected a lot of people mentally. But here you're saying that this lockdown period has been the best moment of your life. Let's jump straight into that. Why would you say that?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Anu. Just to buttress what you just mentioned earlier, it's crazy out there. There's no belief of the fact. A lot of organization firing. I just get to know something, a phrase that is called Zoom mass firing. As in, organization will just host a Zoom meeting, and when these people show up, they are just going to be seen live how they are being told that their services are no longer needed. Over here in the United States, we have over 33 millions of Americans that have filed for. They are no more able to go back to their jobs.
Yeah.
Organizations, they are filing for bankruptcy. Right, you are right on track by saying people are losing their. A lot of people are committing suicide. So many things happening out there that you don't want to. And you see, one of those things that I can say, actually, that is a pointer to that is because a lot of people, their feelings at this moment is kind of fear. And most of the time, and your feelings will determine your emotion.
Yeah.
And when those feelings are negative, what is being communicated will be negative.
True.
And then that is why you see odd behaviors all around, which is one of the reasons why so many people are just losing their mind. Many of them cannot cope with what is happening.
Well, how did you maintain yours? How did you lose your mind? How was it your best moment? That's what we're interested. We want to know.
With my journey to meeting DSA, because there's no how I can remove that. To this state I am in, because let me tell you, people will think if you are in the United States, all your problems are solved. And I beg to differ that is not the case. We have a lot of people that have been here. I'm just here 2 years plus. I'm not here 3 years in this state. And we have a lot of people that have spent years. And their life is not even better. Some of them cannot even go back home. Some of them don't even want to know. A lot of them just put up pictures on the Facebook just to cover up. The real excitement and the real happiness is not there. And that is my story. Before now, you can think of it, I'm a lazy person. I'm not disciplined. I'm full of so many uncompleted tasks all around me. So I began to see that this is not, even here in the States, I didn't like the kind of life that I'm living. So that is why this title I'm just talking about is actually my reality. God in the Genesis chapter 1 created the whole world that we are in today. And he created man in his image. But along the journey of life, man began to reinvent his life in such a way that it began to move away from the original purpose for which life in itself was meant to be. And that is why for me, today, the reason why I'm able to recreate my life was because I saw a life. And I could be able to relate a life born 53 years ago. And I'm 43, by the way. And I could see, okay, somebody could have this kind of life. A black man of Ijebu descent. I happen to be one. We have so many things in common. But when it comes to the reality of living your life as intended by God, I saw that I'm no more. I'm nowhere near. So that was the beginning of this journey for me. And let me start by profiling how my journey, my growing up days, and how it has made up and added to why I said I had to recreate my world. Because DSA in one of his training used to tell us that you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Success is predictable. You only need to look at those people that have done whatever achievements you desire in your life. Just go and spend time with them. Before you know it, you're going to. So I came from let me say, I was born into a Christian and Muslim family. My father is an Alhaji, but my mom is a Christian. She had me when she was not ready. She just finished school and she was expecting she further her education back then. And so with the kind of shame and the stigma of, people will say, you are pregnant, you are not in school, She had to hide, do all that until she had me. And when she had me, I was raised by my grandmother, Madam Abigail Akintoye. That's a blessed mom. She's still alive, strong.
Wow.
And I really want to thank God for her input. So all my elementary growing up days, I was with my grandmother, and she started doing a little bit. But I know then when I was growing up, it's like I was lost. I would just be there. The connection was not there. My mom she went back to school, she further us. And those experience for me was just like, I just knew I was existing. I could not, the experience was not strong for me, but I just knew sometimes this is not the best, but I could not, that's my background. That's where I came from, and I cannot divorce myself from that. Yeah. So growing up until later on, I think my 7-8 years later, moved. My mom settled down, she married, and then I got to join her and started living in Ogun State, back in Nigeria.
Okay, so when you said your mom was not ready, what you meant was she was not married.
My mom was not married then. She just finished her secondary school, like what we call high school here in the United States. So she was just read and do her exams to further her education then.
Got it. So the person she married later was your dad, right? Or was it a different man?
No. She had me before she remarried to someone else.
Okay.
She just had me, and that was the end of that episode. So and that is another story, because that is the vacuum I was trying to tell you, that whenever I see children or families that are together, it's always like a vacuum in me that I wish my dad and mom are together. So I always longed for that experience, even when I was not married. And also when she had me, my mom she was going to be 20 before then. So when I was growing up, that is another thing. That is why I said that to say this, that every one of us, if you are determined, because you see some people say, I want to change, I don't know how, I don't want this kind of life I'm having, but I don't know how. I say that to say this, that it is possible. Do you know that back then, when she told me a story when I was old enough to understand, I made a commitment to myself that I am not going to allow anybody to take advantage of me until I'm married. Beautiful. I was so resolute in that decision that I got married as a virgin. I need to tell you this. So when I was growing up, even though many people, when we relate schools and I see many experiences, so each time I hear and friends discuss, let's go and do for a boyfriend, and everything that plays back in my own mind was
your mom's story.
It was like I was looking up to that age that experience happened to her, and I was promising myself it was not going to happen to me. And the only reason that this happened was because I gave my life to Christ pretty early. I was 12 years old. I was in my secondary school. And the days of SU in your secondary school, every Friday they do school fellowship and they will preach to us. And that kind of thing. I just gave my life as it. But I was not really sure of what decision I was taking. And there was a point in time I took it back. But when I was in GS3, the long junior secondary school vacation that we do before we go to the senior secondary school. It was then that experience was cemented and since then it has been a journey, and a progressive one, a progressive journey. Wow. Why did I say so? Yeah, because when you look at a very young girl growing up in a home, and then it was a deeper life experience. So you can now see how I said that decision was solidified for me. So going to deeper life fellowship as very young age, it was able to help me because back then, Deeper Life Bible Church, they have no parallel to Bible study then. if you grow up in Nigeria. I attend their Bible study. I remember sometimes my mom would tell me, if I go to that fellowship, she is a nominal Christian and all this born again. We are the one that brought it up. She's just an Anglican, normal Christian. You go to church on Sunday. That was the setting at home. You go to church on Sunday, Anglican church. But when I started going to deeper life, from that teacher happened to be taking me for my junior class exam. So the teacher virtually sees me every day. His name is Stephen Okpabum, is of blessed memory. He's no more alive, but I cannot forget his input also to what I am today. Because then every Wednesday, he will come and tell me there's fellowship. He will wait for me, and I will leave our house. I will go. And in our home, then, if it is 9 o'clock, myself that ensure that if you are not home, you are going to sleep outside. Wherever you are, you sleep outside. And I can count occasions where I went to Deeper Life Fellowship and I could not go back. And there's a door downstairs that leads to our main entrance. I will just manage to make sure that that place is open, and I will be at the doorsteps. I will be at the stairs.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe my mom goes to her room and she sees that I'm not at home. She will just open, and like that. So that was how the desire started for the things of God, loving God, and like that I moved on. Now, when I left secondary, that is another phase that I want to talk about. Because what happened then was that because we want to serve God, I was only paying attention to reading my Bible, fasting. I do 40 days fasting and praying. Biri, back then, we're only doing all the physical. If you want to see a religious person, this is Adeola. Anything church, you find me there. Any program, you find me there. But I started losing touch with my academics. And that is where I want to start this conversation again by saying, when I finished my secondary school, I failed. My result was not good, and I could not go for my university education as at when I needed to. I sat at home, and this was the beginning of the self-esteem that was destroyed for me.
Wow.
I was at home for 7 years.
You were at home for 7 years?
Yes.
Wow.
7 years. And I said that to say this. All those periods, I will be sitting for your IEC and JAMB just to pass and to make it to the university. But then I could not get somebody to, maybe my parents, that was the best hour. And that is why I want to tell our parents and everybody watching me this afternoon, your parents, don't force your children to study this particular course or that particular course, because many of us are of the opinion that this is the highest paying job, highest paying course. Go for law, go for accounting, go for medicine, go for this. So in my own experience, I was trying to make all my credits and be able to score enough high points to be a science course, to read a science course, because I was in a science class. Maybe today I would have overcome that stage if I had seen someone to have studied and developed me and helped me discover myself like I just did after some few years. I would have gone for something better that I would have been able to cope. And so that made me sit at home. And so everybody is already in the university. I was a loner. I used to hide. When my friends comes back when I say, Adeola is not in school yet, so she could not even attend for. So I'm more self-withdraw from the world. So somebody that is talking like this, you think a very extroverted person, this is one of the product. I'm a product of DSA. As with regards to this extrovert Adeola that is talking this afternoon, thanks God, I listened to that series that talk about your self-esteem.
Oh, that's the series on self-confidence, actually.
It was the series for me.
Wow.
And I could see in my reference points with regards to my parents, the shame my mother had when she was having me. My reference point with the shame that I had when I was sitting at home for 7 years, I could not enter a university, and all my mates are almost finishing when I was going back. My reference point to even when I finished, and you were just about reading Bible, and not really paying the needed attention and the sacrifice that is needed for you to be the best in the school, because of the mindset of if you die, you will go to heaven. You don't have to stress yourself. You already know that you go to heaven. You are not laying demand on life as you should.
Beautiful.
So this is why I'm saying is that every parent have a responsibility to begin to discover their children while they are very young, to begin to see some of their strong points, to see what are the likes and their dislikes, and to begin to help nurture those traits.
Beautiful.
So that comes for them to school, to go to college, they will not be misfits. They will not be misfits. They will be able to study what eventually they have discovered is in their line of giftings and passion, and it will flatten the curve of a lot of round peg in square hole that we have out there.
Awesome. And I know you have a lot to say about parenting, right? And we're going to actually even take some time to dig deep, into what you learned from parenting and how that has, impacted your life, But what I want us to do, and how I would love us to, have the conversation is, the title of the conversation that we have today is DSA helped me recreate my world. And what you've just explained right now is a part of your world that DSA helped you to recreate. And that was the world of your self-esteem and your self-confidence, And you just explained to us, your background, being born out of wedlock. And trust me, as a Nigerian, I understand what it means, for you to be a child, that was born out of wedlock. It's like you are you're an unfortunate person. Everybody's looking at you. That look at you. You are the shame. You are the reason for the shame of your mother. You see, and then even the parents, they're saying, look at you. So that all by itself, can destroy the self-esteem of any child. So that was your experience, and I can imagine what it means not growing up with your mother, not growing up with your father, not having that that parental love, parental attention, parental, protection and all of that. That definitely has a, devastating effect on the psyche of any child. And that was your reality, right? And even to what you talked about, not going to school for 7 years, every Nigerian will understand that. I mean, you can't even come out of your house. You can't even say you want to go on the street with your friends because your friends' parents are saying, Iboluwa, where are you now? Have you not finished? Where are you? That's like what everybody's asking you. Oh, which university are you in right now? So not being in university for 7 years, that's like a whole, medical course. You get your medical certificates, 7 years. So that definitely has a devastating effect on the psyche. But it's amazing how you just talked about listening to Dr. Sunday's teaching on self-confidence, on how to build your self-confidence, how that tremendously helped you in recreating your inner world. And that's powerful. That's very powerful because many times people can have, masks on their face. They might look good, they might look happy, but their inner world is broken, Their inner world is shattered, and there are battles that they are fighting within them, And the interesting thing about it is that a lot of people do not even know that Dr. Sunday has a whole teaching on how to build your self-confidence. Because that's like maybe one of the least watched series on Dr. Sunday's channel. Can you imagine? But you know the value of that series.
Oh, man.
Because people can see you now and they will not even be able to associate you with having low self-esteem. It does not even look like it because now you're out there, doing great stuffs. So that is powerful. Yeah, you want to say something?
I was asking, I quickly chatted with Adeola. I saw somebody talking somewhere. Is that you? Or somebody hacked your phone? It's
the person could not believe that it was you. Much
me. I said it's me. My phone. See, I was suffering from there's something called imposter syndrome. You don't feel you are good enough. When people are conversing and they are making conversation, I don't have what it takes to I don't have any contribution.
Wow.
It's like I just as if who is going to recognize your own input? Because you are nobody, you are nowhere. So it is that this was not going away. So when I first discovered Dr. Sunday Adelaja, and I'm just going to quickly say how that happened, how the experience took place, and now I was able to take myself from recreate my world from used to be a loner, an introvert, to somebody that have built a good self-esteem that can even look at anybody in the eyes.
Beautiful.
Without minding whose us is God. And that transition happened back then, 2018. It was an afternoon here in the United States. My husband was just in the dining, was watching a program on his laptop, and I was passing. I just had, and I saw Dr. Sunday Adelaja here and the Freeze was having a live program.
Broadcast.
I stood back, I waited, I was hearing something like, who is this person talking? I listened. So I waited till the broadcast ended. And I saw I said, who is this person that is talking? Even then, back then in Nigeria, I've used to hear of Dr. Sunday. I attended Lateran Assembly when I was in Nigeria. Okay. And back then, Pastor Bakari used to, I even have we used to have Pastor Sunday Adelaja book in the library, in the bookstore, his posters. And then I used to remember sometimes he raised prayer for us to pray for Dr. Sunday that he's a Nigerian and he's even from Ogun State, that he's doing great work back then in Ukraine, that he's having some issues that we should pray. I remember. Then also youth program, we watched the Orange Revolution. They played it for us.
Wow, back then in the church.
I was just hearing, it was just in afar off. I didn't know him. I just know that there's somebody in Ukraine and it's Sunday Adelaja and he's doing great work for God, and that, you know, outside of that, that was the end. Until that Sunday, that day that I watched that broadcast. And that day, I just finished. Immediately, I typed his name. I went to his YouTube channel, just like they normally announce after. So that was the beginning of the journey to this recreation. Because I needed to tell you that, because me in Nigeria, even though I'm a Christian, I was just following the rituals. Religious exercise. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't humanize. I go to church, any program, I'm always there, you know. And there was nothing so special about my life that I can say. So I just, I'm in one unit of church, I joined a group, and I'm just there. Nobody is hearing me, I'm just there. That was my experience. I don't have any platform where I can be heard, where nobody. So when I got in touch with this, the Dr. Sunday Adelaja, I don't know him anyway. I just went to his officials, Facebook, his YouTube page, and I saw many programs. There are many teachings. As I'm looking at the title, another one is jumping at me. As I'm looking at this, another one is jumping at me. I said, wow, Adeola, you are not started. You are just started. So I now saw some of the areas where my life has plateaued. That this is now the beginning of this journey. You are just starting. I was 40 already. Wow. But then, to Sam, I was just here. Even that is why I said you can even be in the States and your life is lost. You don't even have it. You're just going to work just to survive, like a biomass, just to live like an animal. Okay, wow. You go to work, make money, and when you make the money, you buy the food, you eat the food, and you go to toilet, you trash it again, you go back to work. That cycle, that was it. Wow. So, but when Dr. Son, I saw that there's more to life than what I'm experiencing. Even though I said I'm 40, there's no over. I saw that my life can still be regained. I can regain my lost years.
Beautiful.
All those years I wasted at home, all those years I wasted. And even looking at just being in church. Just being in church. Fast, you fast. Pray, you pray. Even though you don't have access to pastors, so you don't have, but you are just there. They know that these are some of 24/7 people. But I know I need something. I cannot figure it out. I know. Wow. I see pastors preach. I know there's something like inside of me that I want to connect with something like this, but I don't want to be a pastor. I used to say inside, I don't want to be a pastor, but I wish I can do something, but I don't know how to start. I don't know how to do anything. But when I started listening to Dr. Sunday Adelaja, I discovered that series. I said that you can regain your lost years.
Yes.
other series. This YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. I turned it to my own school, and I used
Beautiful.
Dr. Adeola Alli-Atekoja official happened to be my own school. So when I
Beautiful.
wake up in my house, you will just be listening. You can When I wake up in the middle of the night, I go to use the bathroom. The thing is playing. I can't escape it. Whether subconscious or conscious, the video is playing.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So I buried myself in those teachings, and I began to see I began to see the changes. And that was why I said that first series of self-esteem, that was the beginning of the journey.
Beautiful.
So I begin to see that if people are talking, I can also, I can call it, I can even.
You could talk. Yeah. You could contribute.
A voice that this same me, I'm unique. And that's my life, the way God has fashioned it, even my story is real. It's my story is one of my tickets. Is what God has planned, my background and everything that has happened to me in all my experience growing up to now. God has used those experiences to describe me to be this person I am now, so that I can be able to reach my world and help others be able to see that their own life, their own world too can be recreated.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That's powerful. I can see the fire from you. I can feel it, from you, that this is not just, just talk. This is someone who has been transformed. This is someone who has overcome, that stigma, who has overcome, the complexes, someone who has come alive from within. And that's one of the blessings of, getting to acquire wisdom and knowledge, that is specific to your case. And that's something I also want to bring out from your story, that we all have different, challenges. We all have different pasts. We all have, our journey in life and through life is different. So yours was the kind of childhood you had, the situation of your birth, and then some of the other things you faced, just growing up. And when you came to Dr. Sunday's, YouTube channel, there were many teachings that you would have paid attention to, but your specific journey already had a specific answer there. And that's fascinating, So, and just the same way, some other people, when they come to Dr. Sunday's channel, the thing that really transforms their life initially isn't even the self-confidence, series. Some other people, what transformed their whole existence and their life was love series. So they listened to the love series, and that was it for them. Their world was, turned downside up, because they had issues that were related to, love and all of that. And that is just the beautiful thing about Dr. Sunday's channel, it's just there. And I love the way you said it. It's like a school, where you can just go there for free. And what do you want to learn? Are you having self-esteem issues? You can find the answers there. Are you trying to fix your relationship, your family? You can find the answers there. Do you want to learn how to, what it means to prepare as a man for marriage? You can find it as a woman for marriage, as a parent. Are you trying to figure out why are you here, why you are alive? You can find the answers there. Are you having problems in your prayer life? You can find it there. The church, leadership, like a school, just what you said.
Everything is complete, Dr. Anu. And I will just simply say that same transition that I'm talking about, when I finished this self-esteem, I look at my life, I said, I've wasted many years. So I went to the second series of how to regain your lost years. I want to know what to do. How can I begin to be relevant to this world? How can I live my life so that I'm not left behind? So that even though I'm 40, some people will write themselves off. I don't want to write myself off. I don't want to believe those negative talk that is inside of me, because I've dealt with them when I was facing my self-esteem, that those are the negative talks and the inner talks that limits every of one of us, that drains our energy, that makes us to look as if nobody. And one of the things that happened that Dr. Sunday mentioned in those series was that look for a reference point where you were so proud of yourself. You did something great. Begin to let that experience be your reality.
Beautiful.
And move from that kind of standpoint and begin to look at whatever you desire in life and see yourself replicating that same feat.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
It's what I did then. And when I remember how to regain your lost year, Dr. Sunday Adeola just started with what the true meaning of life is. Before you want to regain it, what are the things, what is life all about? And I remember this series, Life is a School. I listened to that series every day. I will listen to the review. Because many of us, if you don't know the true meaning of life and what God expects us out of our lives, we will not even know what to regain, because we just feel you are okay. You should be, you are married. You are, that is the basis. You are a woman and you are married. And what else? You have children. And you are working. You have money. What else? You have a car. You just think, and you're okay. What are you regaining? But I get to see that there is more to life than just having children, than just marrying, than just having a career, than just feeling okay. That is even another kind of life that is not the best version of life that God expects from us. And this story in the book of Luke, talking about the profitable servant, unprofitable servant, that story readily comes to home. Because every time I read that passage, I don't see myself in that passage. I believe I'm a church goer, I go to church, even though I don't know why I go to church, that's another story. That we just do it. That's not, I go to church on Sunday. Are you an unbeliever? What's wrong with you? What will you be doing at home? So it's a norm. So, but then, even though we don't know that we're just being religious, go to church, come back. But that story helped me to know that life is a school, and that there are so many things that we don't know, that life is based on principles, that there are so many things that you don't need to pray about, they will just happen. And it's interwoven to the predictability of life. That life is predictable. Many people argue a lot. And whenever I see many questions that DSA will be quoting about, people complaining about, I saw that this is true, really. Why is it happening? Look at the world of sport. Somebody want to be the best runner, let's say, for example, you get a coach, you get a mentor, and he goes on to begin to say on practicing and doing all those things. And eventually, he gets to win. So which means there is always a path to follow if you want to succeed. If you can understand where that path you want in life is. You want to begin to put in the needed sacrifice, like 40 hours a week. Because some of us, we just feel that once I work, we don't know that we have a personal responsibility to grow our dream, to grow our desire, to make necessary sacrifice for our work. But we just say, since I'm working, I don't think I have it. I will be pushing it. We'll be pushing it. That one day. That is one of the life story of what DSA taught me, that you can be working and at the same time you are fulfilling your goal. You only need to know how to do the transition. You only need to study. And thanks to those mentorship, and I'm forever grateful. My first trip to Europe to see this thing happening, to see what I was reading on the normal Facebook, normal YouTube that I would just watch, until when I was able to concretize this experience that, wow, so this person is a flesh and blood. This man that is shaking the waves through this small YouTube of mine, that is making things, so that was the experience for me. When I came last year,
before I'm just going to jump in right now. My apologies, because I know you're about to talk about your experience coming to Ukraine for the History Makers training, right? Yeah, but but that's like a new chapter. But let's end the chapter that you started, and then we're going to get into the HMT. And I just want to I try to do this just to recap some of the major points you've shared, so our viewers can also have it in in summary. But we started with your inner world, right? That Dr. Sunday helped you to recreate, and he did that. I mean, through the series on how to build self-confidence, right? So you got that settled, but then you still had, because you got this at age 40. So
Yeah.
at age 40, a lot of people are thinking,
Yes. That's true.
okay, that is almost like already too late. But you decided not to give up faith, and not to say, okay, well, I'm 40, what can I do again? But then you started learning and you started researching on how can I regain my lost years? And how can I, okay, now that I've dealt with my inner world, I've dealt with my esteem, now I've come alive, I've gotten my confidence back, then how do I, live the rest of my life to be my best, my best years yet? And that's amazing, because that is almost like a systematic approach, to transformation, that, okay, I got this done. Then what is step, this is step A, done, right? Step B, what is the next step? And that was how you took that. And so the next world that Dr. Sunday helped you to recreate is, your life and your understanding of life, and how, you can start converting your life, discovering your purpose, and, you're regaining those years you've lost. And that's just what you just explained. So you listen to Life is a School, because Life is a School is a series that is a series on Dr. Sunday's platform that helps you to understand life. So now it's like you were born again. You were like, okay, now I'm 40 years old, boy. It's like I'm having a new life all by myself. So why not like get a better understanding of life? Because it's like I'm born again. And that's exactly the kind of experience I had. I think just last year. It was like I felt like I was born again. I felt like now I have my life, back to me. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like maybe we had the same kind of experience, where I felt like up until that point, I was living every other person's life. I was living my society's life. So what the society expected of me was what I was doing. What the environment dictated to me was what I was living. It was not me that was living. I was living my parents' desire. So they wanted me to go to this primary school. Okay, Dad, I would go. They wanted me to go to the secondary school. All right, you're the one paying for me. I'm not deciding. You are the one deciding for me. So I say, okay, yes, I'll go. University decided for me. Okay, I'll go. It was not my life. I didn't have like my life in my hand, that okay, yes, now I can begin to live a conscious and a conscientious life, intentional life. So just last year or last 2 years was when it was like, now I'm a new being, I'm born again now. So because I started asking myself questions. Okay, who am I? Why am I here? Okay, why do I think the way I think? Why do I act the way I act? What makes me see life in this perspective? What informs my worldview? Why am I the way I am? Why do I talk the way I talk? Why do I walk the way I walk? Why do I smile the way I smile? So I started questioning everything about myself, because I had to give life to myself. And I feel like that's like the second phase, that you got into, where you dealt with those baggages that you had within you. You dealt with the self-esteem issues, you dealt with the self-confidence issue, and then you got your life back. So now the next phase that you started working on was, I have to recreate my life now. I have to regain my lost years. I have to study what is life. Life is predictable. Life is a school. And that's amazing to see that you took that approach to the whole transformation journey. And I just wanted to bring all of this out, so that people could see it in pictures, that you were going through all of those phases, So this was phase one. I was done with this. Then I got into phase two, where I had to start saying, okay, now I got my life back. I need to regain my lost years. I need to discover what life is. And then you got that through Dr. Sunday's series on Facebook. Life is predictable. Life is a school. And that's just beautiful. So we got that phase done. I don't know if my explanation is spot on, if
Yeah.
it's correct.
Yes. So the next thing that happened before I even traveled
Yes.
to come and see this experience, to have a life experience, it was the fact that when I was listening to Life is a School, there were times that Dr. Sunday's children too did review.
Yeah.
In one of those occasions, I remember I looked at the boy, and there was a time one of the children, whether the second daughter or the first daughter. So that was the next series that helped me further in my journey, because I told you that I'm a mother of three, but everything that has to do with marriage, which has to do with purpose, and that has to do with raising godly standard for children, I am zero. I don't know anything. Even though I married late at 31. Those are some of other things too. I married at 31. I had my first baby at when I was 33. And the normal way, once you married, that's the end of your purpose. That's the end of your aspiration. That is the mindset that I had. Everything I was not able to do before while I was single. Once you are married now, this in our Yoruba says, purpose. It's your husband's purpose. That is your purpose. Anything
terrible.
Be supporting. You don't have any other thing to do. Be a good housewife. Take care of the house. Take care of the children. So I kind of reduced myself to a nominal housewife.
Wow.
More or less. That was the experience, because there was nothing happening for me that I could say. So I can't even think above that. I felt once you are married, that is the end, because there's not, before you think of taking care of the house, taking care of the children, they'll go to school. Before they come back, you are back again to this. Even if I was working sometimes, but there was a time that I couldn't cope. Also, I was at home. There was a time. So every different facet. But I also watched the family series. And DSA was able to open my eyes to see that there's so many things we assumed before even going into marriage that we knew that we were not even grounded. We needed not to even though I married late, I was not even totally prepared.
Wow.
I was not totally prepared. I was remembering when I got married then, I went, even though I waited at home for 7 years, I still had a master's in environmental management. I still did.
Yeah.
And after that, I was telling myself, I'm too old. I need to marry. All my mates are already, that kind of, that is the thing. They're saying, you are married, you are already 30, you're over 30, and you know how those things begin to dictate you. And that was some of the teaching that I listened to Dr. Sunday talking about. Beautiful. That don't live life with instinct. Don't just be like an animal that it is what people's reaction, it is what they say that is pushing you to go and marry.
Beautiful.
Even though we are cool to the fact that it was in the same church where I was working and serving. I met my husband and we're married for 11 years now. Thank God for that.
Beautiful.
But then I didn't know that you can still, while you are married, you can still be a nursing mother. You can still be relevant to your world. You can still the emotional understanding, how you cope when you are married, how the transition, how you're able to, how you will not allow petty things to make you trigger off on the wrong emotion that the children will not start speaking. And then I began to see that, Adeola, you are failing already, because if I had any small thing with my husband, maybe we had this misunderstanding or stuff like that, I don't know how to hold myself, all those things. I now began to see that this is not how to, if you want your children to turn out well, every disagreement you have with your husband, you have to know how to arrange yourself and make sure you resolve those things. Those are some of the things I learned. And back then, the problem you normally have, typical, okay, pay the bill, pay children's school fees, pay house rent, do all the normal things, and my husband said, that's all, I don't have anything again. That kind of, you now begin to, that's not all, go and look for more. But when I was listening to DSA, he told me that you need to be prepared emotionally, even with regards to job, with regards to equipping yourself, with regard to adding skills to yourself, make yourself valuable. Don't just believe that marriage will solve all those things. Marriage is not giving that happiness. You are designed. You have a responsibility to your happiness in life, and that you have work to do. When you know who you are, you know what makes you happy. You have a moral obligation to go and commit yourself to making that space of your life become beautiful, because that's what keep you happy in that home.
Beautiful.
Even if your husband give you all the money, you have some people, the husband gives them all the money, the husband is not available, he's not there. They still complain, they are not happy in marriage. You now see that everything about marriage is not only about just to want to live that phase of singleness. No, there is more to it.
Wow.
And then I need to come to the area of child upbringing, children upbringing. I'm grateful to God. Before, I used to just think that once the children go to Sunday school, they are better. They will teach them. I did not know what it means to be intentional in raising your kids, putting in moral values, giving their inner core to become the kind of people that you can look at their future. You know what plagued your own existence, all the family, all those dysfunctionality that plagued my own background. How that will not be their own experience, that you can be intentional. I saw that in Dr. Sunda's home. When the children, Perez was sharing how they start their day, what the father tells them, and I took a clue that every day they have a family time, and from that time up to today, I need to tell you, and even I need to say this testimony to everybody hearing. Before then, once I wake up, I pray that my children, nothing. I don't have time for them. I will look at the time I'm leaving for a job. Okay, what are you eating? Cook, prepare, and give them clothing. Let them look good. Everything about parenting, zero. I was just doing, physical. And that is what I learned about Dr. Sunday Adelaja. He said, you can raise a child. This boy is good looking. Look at his cheek. You are really trying. What is he eating? And you give them all the best. And when they come outside, look at my shoes, look at my, that is all nonsense. That is all zero. You are not different from an animal that just mate and they gave birth to children. If that is the quality of children you have not started your therapy. I encourage you, go to Dr. Sunday Adelaja official YouTube channel, go and sit down with the family series and go and learn 101 parenting 101.
Wow.
I have a text. When I discovered Dr. Sunday Adelaja, I started listening to those series. I booked for his books, and it was shipped to me. And every morning, I told you, I wake up with his teachings, and I started our own family time with my children. We would watch his video. I will now share with them. My second girl was just 4, a little bit away, but she can't even, but I will now interpret. My oldest daughter then was 7, going to 8. So Oyatoyosi, what did you hear from what Dr. Sunday preached? She will share. I will put in my own. We started having a family time in the morning.
Beautiful.
In the morning. So those are some of the intentionality that I put into my journey as a parent, that I am able. And then I now took a challenge with my daughter. I said, Toyosi, look at the books. I have like 26 books that was shipped to me from Ukraine. That are all Dr. Sunday Adelaja on different topics. I told myself, I said, you used to say you would like to read, you don't have books. See books, so I've brought books now. Which one would you like to read? She read No One is Better Than You by Dr. Sunday Adelaja. And I said, okay, read. If you read, okay, you're going to tell me what to read, and I'm going to give you this. So we just did that like a challenge. And then my daughter read the book, and this one Sunday afternoon, I just said, okay, Otoyosi, you say you're finished, you come and teach us what. And thanks God, it was just like, we just put a video. And I asked my husband to record her. She started talking. She was conscious of herself. She didn't do it. She left. I just said to her, we didn't even plan this thing. The second time, she now did the experience. She was all alone, and the video was just playing. And that was what she just did. And she just spoke. She reviewed that book in a few minutes. And I just shared with some of my friends on DSS platform. And somebody just got it shared to Dr. Sunday. I didn't even know. I just got a text from him saying, Sister Adeola, I just watched a video on your daughter reviewing one of my books. If you don't mind, I would like to have that video on my channel. It was a joy. I didn't won't believe it. And lo and behold, my daughter was just 8 at that time, and she did it. I would like everybody to watch that video. If Dr. Anu can play that small
Of
clips,
course, of course. I
that
mean,
was
we're going to watch the video now. We have the video here. We're going to watch the video. But before we watch the video, I just got a feedback from our technical team that it appears that there's some sort of background noises coming from your end. So just try to, would like you to quickly clarify maybe if there's any maybe television or something around, who is giving a background voice. Just help us clarify that from your end. So we're going to play the video now. We're going to watch your amazing daughter, and then I'm going to even give some comments when I first watched this video myself. So let's have the video rolling.
Hi everybody, my name is Adeola Alli-Atekoja and I am a third grader. I am 8 years old and I am going to be soon 9. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the fact that nobody is better than you. Right now I'm in my house and I decided to share this with you. No one is better than you because God made you who you are right now. You're special just the way you are. And the way that God made you is the way He wanted to make you. Whatever your talent is, from singing to dancing, whatever it is, you know that God knows it. You know it because you're the person. You're the one who had a choice to do what you're doing right now. Because time has a limitation. There's things to do with your time. When it's time to read and study, that's not the time to start saying, oh, I didn't finish my homework, I need to go. Because when you were supposed to do your homework, you weren't doing it. That's why there's a time for everything. Routines can help, plans can help, because when you start to reference your past lives, you start to see that there was nothing really special you did. Because ordinary people do ordinary things and get ordinary futures. But people who study, read, research, and do all of this become smarter. And when they get smarter than their classmates, it doesn't mean you're better than a person. It means you know better than them. They didn't have 50 hours to think about what they did. They only have 24 hours, just like everybody did. Everybody else has 24 hours. You are just the only one to decide what to do with your time. So, I can now share with you what I know from my journal and book. Here are 5 things that you can do that you can use in your lives. These are some things that will actually tell that no one is better than you. So many things are hidden in you that you need time to release them to the world. There is something that you can do better than everybody about that one, because there's something you can do better than everybody. As for me, I know that I can talk, do this, but I wasn't when I was young, it wasn't like that just appeared to me, because it took time, and the fact that there's something that you can do better than everybody is a true statement that you know that you should know about yourself. And not just that, you don't need to just know the fact that no one is better than you. It's also good to have a growth mindset and not a fixed mindset, because even if you practice, you can still have a fixed mindset, because people who practice can still be saying, I'm never going to make it, while they're researching. But people with growth mindset and positive minds, they know they're going to make it, just like it is. So everybody who still thinks that nobody is better than you, the only thing you can do to be better than everybody else is study, read, and understand the fact why you are on the earth. You're not on the earth to just eat every day and watch TV. You're not on the earth just to go to school. And about going to school, you know, in school you're learning, but you need to take your learning far, far, far against going to school. Because going to school, you're actually going to learn things, but that's not really going to make you successful. You're just going to become more smarter. If you take the time and do extra studying, you'll discover that you're smarter than everybody else in your classroom, and everybody starts to wonder if you were made like this. So, to conclude my presentation and talk, I want to say that your life is something precious, and time is more precious than anything else you could have on earth. Time is life, so whatever you do with your time is what's going to happen in your life.
Hello everybody, DSA here. I would like us...
My God. My God.
Wow.
I don't know if people listen to what I just listened to. You know, I still feel the same goosebumps I felt the very first time I heard her talk. It's unbelievable that she was 8 years old. The things your daughter was sharing, 40 years old, 50 years old people do not know, do not have an idea. I'm just sitting back here and I'm saying, my God. No, how did this girl know about growth mindset and fixed mindsets? How would 8-year-old, young girl, know about, why you shouldn't just depend on just going to school, why you must take your education beyond the four walls of a school, how would this 8-year-old girl, know about why you must discover your purpose and your calling, while you're on earth? 8 years old? I was just shocked that, my God, she can't be 8 years. It's like, what miracle did you do to this, your daughter? Wow.
Doctor, you're absolutely correct. You are correct. Thanks to those teachings that Dr. Sunday mentioned, that in that age bracket of 5 to 7, 5 to 8, if you're ever going to do any good job that will last them long till eternity, you must be intentional that it is not something you do today, you forget tomorrow. Every day, I tell you, from that 2018, if you're not in the morning, it's going to be in the night. I started making up my mind to be intentional on what I teach my children. And they could see it in me. They saw it, because there's another difference between just telling them to do something and you are not modeling it. They saw it. Every day they know. If you ask my children, if your mom is at home, what does she do? They will tell you, she's always on YouTube, listening to message, listening to so many things. That is just the truth. That is just the transformation. There's no magic. There's nothing like I prayed. It's not only about praying, because you are just be praying and they are empty. You can be praying that, Lord, let my children do it, but you are not giving them those core values that is going to make them strong, that will make them go through life like somebody that is coming from a point of strength, than somebody that just anything just happened, you don't have a say. So that is one of my testimony to this platform, to meeting Dr. Sunday Adeola Alli-Atekoja.
Wow.
Less than 2 years.
Wow. I'm just blown away by that. I'm just blown away by, this is what it means to undergo transformation. This is what, when you said it there, that DSA helped you to recreate your world, this is it. Because you were saying that before meeting Dr. Sunday, before listening to the family series on parenting, you were just the stay-home mom, just, okay, okay, you are hungry, okay, let's go to the kitchen, I'll cook, give you food to eat. Okay, you want to get a nice clothes, I'll get a clothes for you. You want to look good, okay, that's it. but you didn't even know anything about why you had to, intentionally inculcate core values in your child. And I mean, maybe I don't know if I'm the only one who is short of words. I hardly am short of words, but this is just amazing, and this is real transformation. This is, I mean, what it means to recreate one's world. So the world of your family, parenting, through the series, you recreated that whole world. And it's just beautiful to see that. It is just beautiful to see that. Awesome. Your journey is, I mean, your story is so interesting. So we've seen the very first part, your inner world. We've seen the part of, you wanting to discover yourself, regaining your lost years. We've seen your family right now, how your whole world there was transformed. You were about talking about your journey, to Ukraine now for HMT. I don't know if you want to talk about that and how that also impacted you.
I would love to share that.
Yeah.
Because at that time, I was 40. 2017, I was 40. 2018, I met DSA. And I was just a few months after them. So I told you I was watching his YouTube channel every day. Then he does everyday broadcast. And I saw them advertise for HMT. I watched some of the previous one, and there was a time that I watched one of his video, and I was alone in the house. Nobody was home. My children has gone to school. I was at home, and I was crying.
Wow.
That experience I can never forget. 2018 October. That October, he was sharing to us. It was one of those series on understanding. And I looked at myself. It's like the last time I cried, passion, nobody was with me. It was when I was still in my early stage of growing as a Christian. And maybe you are living a life of sin, you are living, and everything. Oh God, I want to change, I want to be, that kind of prayer that you pray and you are crying, God, please, I want to know you more, that kind of prayer. But this one, when I looked at what DSA was sharing, it was like, Lord, where is this man? Where has this man been all these years? Where has it been all those times that I was just there, not knowing what to do? The reason why I say so, I now promised myself that when I was 40, okay, the way you celebrate birthday and you lavish money, you do that. I told myself, I said, okay, my own gift to myself on my 40th birthday is for me to save towards this HMT it was being announced, it's going to come up November. It was announced in November, it was going to come up the following year. I told myself, I'm going to save towards this. That is what I did. I saved towards that. I said, this is going to be my own birthday gift for myself. That is the only way. And that this thing I'm seeing here, I want to take it further. And the reason why I'm saying this to everyone listening is that there is a community. See, 100% of your success, 50% of it or 80% of it has to do with your environment.
Yeah.
I connected myself to a reference group that is high performing. I want to see what is bringing out this life. I want to see what is bringing this. DSA, I watched his previous video. When he was 50, look at all the 50 books. I said, this is high performance to the 10x, to the 100x.
Mm-hmm.
He's just 10 years older than I am. Adeola, what is wrong with you? I told my husband I will be going. He didn't stop me. I had to arrange how my children is going to be going to school and everything. And I went for 2 weeks. And thank goodness, my mom was around too. Everything went back. But at that time, I was looking and booking for my process to traveling down to Europe. I never knew I was pregnant. When eventually all the paperwork came and what have you, January, I got all the visas to what have you and all these papers that I need to. It was January that I got to know I was pregnant. And I already booked. I told my mom said, will you? I said, I'm going, I will go. I will go. I won't cancel it. And I thank God. I thank God that I took that journey. I embarked on that journey. See, that journey till today, I can tell you, I can't forget that experience because I was introduced to a community of people that are, it's not only they're only heaven bound, they are earthly relevant.
Yeah.
People that want to make their word count, people that want to do just more than the minimum, because which was my experience anyway. And the title of that year, that title was How to Plan Your Life for the next 25 years. Because me, I knew that already. This life that I was living, I said, there's nothing that will happen. I want to go and take it real. I want to go and have the experience. And that was it. The first night I came to that, DSA looked at me, said, wow, you mean you are pregnant and you still embark on that long journey? I said, from the US, but I thank God I did. I thank God I did. The reason why I'm saying so is through that community, through that trip, I have a community where we have every week we read. It's a book club, and there was some of the things that helped me accountable. In a month we must finish 2 books by DSA. So all those books we pack, and thank God there is Kindle. We can read a book, and you are going to be reviewing it. We take one book in 2 weeks, we review. We take the last one for the month, we review it. Pastor Nira was the one organizing that thing. And until today, that was one of the things that helped me. So all DSA's book, you have to read. So you see that accountable environment helped me too. Beautiful. And my children, I can tell you the number of books they've read on DSA. Even the one that was 4 years old, till today, she's reading time management. Guys, I want to, she's 7. I said, do you remember that Toyosi was this age when she started? So you are going to do your own video. Start reading now. I told her, I gave her one of the books. Start. So, I just know that these children, I don't want them to, I don't know. So that was why I traveled down. And I thank God from that group also, or everything that has to do about structure, about planning, about putting a system in place about your life that you can read. And this recently, DSA was saying that at 40, you must have finished everything about it. You must have forgotten that God gave you a calling. And that is what I'm telling everybody out there. Thank God that this COVID has revealed and opened the nakedness of the church. I'm an usher in my church. No, I am in guest relation. Now that the church has been closed for over weeks. So what are you doing with your life?
With your life.
You need to now sit down and know that there is more to your life than just being and marking attendance in that church. I'm an usher. I'm in the choir. No, my dear brother, friends listening and watching live from this channel and this platform, I want to encourage you. Please lay hold on your life. Sit down and discover yourself. Gone are those days that you'll be looking for a special melodramatic experience that you are going to be revealed to you. What is your purpose? Hey, I'm waiting for God to reveal to me. No, DSA taught me. No, sit down. What are the things that people talked about you? What are the compliment that people give about you? What are those things you love doing when nobody will even give you a dime? I did a self audit. I began to see who and what are those passions that normally come to me easily. That was how I started understanding who God has made this very person. And it started with that seed that God gave me. And Jesus told me, you are going to refine yourself. Refine yourself, sacrifice time, invest your time in reproduce and in recreating your world to the true version that God has given you. So that you will not be part of the unprofitable servant. When we read about the story of the unprofitable servant, we used to think is somebody there. We don't know that we are equally guilty. Because every gift that God imputed in you that day you were formed out of your mother's womb, if you have not started living to the truth of that dream, of that vision, of that passion, you are doing yourself a disservice and you are being unproductive and you're a wicked servant. I didn't call you that. The Bible called you so. He said, and that same gift he has, they have to collect it from him and give it to somebody else that is working with it. This small story that I just shared with you, that was the passion that made me think, I cannot keep this to myself. I don't want my life to end.
Wow.
Look at my grandfather, my great-grandfather, nobody heard of them. Nobody knows their name. Even if my children comes now, I ask them, do you know my great-grandfather that gave birth to they will not know because they didn't do anything about their life that people can lay hold and say, this is the contribution to the world. Look at the platform we are engaging on with. This is somebody's contribution to his own world. And everybody is using it to connect. Look at this period that everybody was locked in. Thank God for this platform. Everybody can connect. Somebody sat down. So I'm grateful to God that this Adeola you are seeing today, it was not just something that happened accidentally. It is something that can happen to anybody. You just need to desire it. Decide, I want to start a new life.
Beautiful,
Be
beautiful.
intentional about that decision. And what is the price? Make up your mind that every day you are going to spend at least an hour in discovering and in refining yourself.
Beautiful, beautiful.
What is the plan? Put your plans on paper. Don't just say, I will do. Put it down on paper. Plan. Okay, I want to be this in the next 2 years. Okay, I don't have the money. Okay, I want to grow this skill. I want to go and learn. I will save towards, if I'm saving how much, and these are some of the things that DSA taught. DSA taught me a whole lot about money.
You
A
have to
whole
go
lot.
back. Yeah, maybe you should go
You
back a
know,
little bit. Your head, you're cutting your head. Exactly. Good, good, good,
it
good.
gave me a whole lot of understanding about even money, management of money. And today I'm better off. I'm grateful to that. So every one of us, we have a duty to do what? To discover ourselves, put down your plans, put it on paper, read it to yourself every day, spend at least an hour before you spend the rest of your days with the world. The world is competing for your time through the social media, but you can be intentional. Look at how I use the same social media that is creating distraction for others to recreate myself because I was intentional. I told myself, until I use 1 hour to study, to self-develop, I'm not going to give my time to any other thing until then.
Beautiful,
And
beautiful.
this is the reformation you are seeing as a result of that decision I took. Since
Beautiful.
that. So last year I was in Ukraine and I spent 2 weeks and come and see the special care, the attention. In fact, I don't know how to say it. Despite DSA giving me a free time to do and not to do all the assignment, but I still made up my mind. I was going to be reading, I was going to be doing all the assignment and everything because I want that environment. I want to take it away from me so that when I get back home, I will be able to live that kind of effective life because I know increase your effectiveness. There's a book also that talks about that about this, that how to live an effective life, how you are constantly converting your time into products. You are converting your time to produce, to self-develop, to self-recreate yourself. I don't know, Dr. Anu, this is just overwhelming. The result is just, I can't lie to you. Even this mentorship group that I joined push me to doing what I'm doing now.
We're going to talk about the mentorship group just very soon. But before we get into the mentorship group, you're just a joy to behold. I'm listening to you and I'm just thinking, wow, look at this lady, who most people would have said, oh, I mean, just be that stay-home mom and, just be taking care of your children and maybe get some things to do, just to be moving. And you've just transformed into a whole world changer, I remember seeing you during the HMT and you were pregnant, and I was like, there's something about this woman. What would, it's one thing to be pregnant and to be living in Ukraine and come, for the HMT. That is already commendable, Maybe you're living in Ukraine and you said, okay, I'm pregnant and then I'm going to come over. That's like, yeah, you try. Then it's a whole different ballgame if you are living in Europe, which is like 2 hours or 3 hours flights, just to come here. That's like even like double respect to that woman who would do that. But then for someone to fly all the way from the United States to come for this training, that shows someone who is serious about, taking control of our life and our destiny. Many people would say it's risky, and that is true, because that is definitely risky, to want to fly, considering the whole stuff. But I think God saw your heart, and God saw that you had that desire, You were 40, but you were ready to start a new life. And I think that is even a very good place to, say that it's never too late, to start. It's never too late to live again. You can be just existing you might have been existing for the past 10, 20, 30, 40 years of your life, but it's never too late to to come alive. And that's like your testimony. And I feel like that could also give inspiration to people who are listening right now, who maybe they're thinking, well, it's already too late for me. I'm married, I have children to take care of. But you had toddlers, you had young children, you were 40 already, and you were like, no, I'm not going to say I'm too old already or it's already too late for me. No, you're like, I'm going to, take the bulls by the horn. I'm going to do what I need to do and, live the rest of my life, a fulfilled life, an intentional life. That is powerful. And I think that also would give hope to a lot of our listeners who are listening to us, that you might be 40, you might be 50, you might even be 60 listening to us. Hey, it's not too late. You can make a major shift in your life, and you can leave a legacy, if you can just do exactly what this beautiful lady did, be serious about, gaining knowledge, be serious about, understanding some of these things that she has spoken about, understanding your purpose, understanding your life, learning how to regain those lost years, and with speed and with intensity, you can begin to even do things that even younger people are not doing. And that is so encouraging to hear, that you decided to take your life, serious, and you committed your time to rebuilding yourself, to recreating yourself. And it just reminds me of one of my favorite, statements, that the greatest responsibility and the sole responsibility of every human being living is to give life to himself. And that's exactly what you did. You gave life to yourself. And look at you, shining bright. No one will even think that you are above 40. Your smile and everything, the energy and all of that is just beautiful.
Thank you.
It is just so amazing. I mean, what you're doing with your children, what a testimony, But I want you to talk about I know you're in the Millionaires Mentorship Group. I know you were about talking about that. So maybe you might want to share a little about your experience there, how that has transformed your life. What is it like being in that mentorship group?
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Anu. That's another story entirely. The norm here is Uncle Sam. You work for Uncle Sam.
Yes.
And then you begin to see how you can live on credit and you do all those stuffs. So I think God just had mercy on me. Wow. And allowed me to know doctor, to meet DSA at the time that I just came barely to the state. Because at that point, when I came, I just did one crash job because there's seasonal job. I did that job, and I tell you, after it was December period, and it's a seasonal job. When I did that job, the following year by January, I just discovered I was having a health issue. They said I had hernia. That maybe I was lifting stuff and I was carrying stuff. That experience, I started going to the hospital to do this and that and stuff. They said maybe if I want it operated. But why did I mention that? I saw that if you are in this state, if your health is threatened, forget about, I want to make money, I want to do anything. So the first thing about the understanding that I get with this whole program that I joined, the Millionaire Mentorship program, was that, number one, every one of us must know that our health is important, because this journey that we call life, you need your health to go through it. Beautiful. And if anything threatens your health, forget about anything about making money, because even if you make the money, you are going to spend it on training. DSA taught us that our financial fulfillment in life is not a function of how much money we make, but how successful a manager of those resources you are.
Yes.
That is set the face. That was the thing, that the foundation. Because you will see that a lot of people are even making money here in this state, and you wonder. No apology to some of our Nigerian people here. The lifestyle of some of them, thank God I know better. Maybe I will also have joined them. It's wasteful. Yes. partying, spending on clothing. Just the DSA in this platform taught us that you must learn how to save towards your dream.
Yes.
Until between, they said the highest people that buy shoes, if you see, you go to a store, most of them are blacks. They spend money, but they can't spend money to develop their life. They can't spend money to be the best. And sometimes many of us think we can do this in alone. You need a mentor.
Yeah.
Go and see all these NBA players, top players, all these guys that are doing well, even in the world of sports. You will still see them. They all have a coach, indirectly a mentor, that's still teaching them, that is still grooming them, so that they can always remain. That is why I told myself the truth. It's one of those series of doctors. You can tell yourself the truth. This thing I don't know is I need to flatten the curve of my knowledge by going to people that are doing well in this sphere.
Yes.
So that I can learn from them. That was what that platform did for me.
Wow.
That lesson taught me a lot about the loss of money, because before then I don't know anything about saving. I have just one account. If anything comes, I bring it. If anybody cry, I'm the type. I'll just keep spending. Anybody say, Adeola, sis, I'll bring it. I don't know that there's something like, if you are saving towards your dream, if you have budget, I don't know anything about budget. I just spend the money as it comes. I spend it. That you got to begin to budget. And if your budget so amount for cares, for help, if anything comes outside of that budget, if you are disciplined, really, you cannot go outside of that budget to go and put your hand in your savings and say, I know pastor can even preach and tell you that God said you should give. You cannot touch it. It is that those are some of the discipline I lacked about money. I didn't know if I'm in a church and they say bring money, I will go and bring it. I say that does not say we should not give. I'm not saying you should not give because I give. I'm not saying you should not support a cause that is worthy. But that discipline of knowing that if you got to save 10% of your money, or even move it to 30% as you are growing, you start little and begin to take it further, as depending on wherever you are starting from. And that is the culture. That is the culture today. I am not yet there, but I'm on a journey, and the future is just bright. I can say it.
Beautiful.
Because of the teaching, all the trainings. Look at what I just said. Many people make this money. It's not that they are not making the money, but they don't know how to manage it.
They don't know the laws of money. They don't know
how to manage the money they are making such a way that they can even tell Uncle Sam to go away. And that is the transition I'm having now. That I was intentional. I only work 3 days in a week. That is part of the training. Just decide, okay, the rest of the days, even though I'm a nursing mother, I will have time for my children. I will have time for my dream.
That's so
I was
powerful.
deliberate about the job I was doing. And the job that is not going to tell on my health. Just come and see. 70 years, 65, people that are old and crippled, they are still going to work because they got to pay the bills. The system of this world that is set out to enslave is still at cost in their life. They don't know how to break free. And through thanks to DSA teaching, he showed me how you can transition, how you can take your journey to fulfilling your own dream, to making your own, impacting your own world, by not wasting away under the slave or somebody that will tell you the time to wake up, the time to sleep, the time to show up, the time to sack you, to fire you. I told you about mass firing. The first time I had it, I can't believe I had a Zoom mass firing, that they put on a Zoom meeting, and the rest of the story is that they're all being fired. Before somebody fires you, my dear friends, go and fire them.
Fire them first.
I'm on that transition, and very soon I'm going to be totally free.
Fantastic.
Because I'm a good student. I'm taking my time to learn. Fantastic. I'm teachable. Yes. And it's paying off every day. I can see the shift in mindset.
Yes.
Thank
fantastic. I mean, that's just so beautiful. Fire them before they fire you. I mean, that's how it should be, you know. No one should be, I mean, having the key of your destiny and of your financial, you know, prosperity and all of that. Why not? You can have the control. You can decide that, you know. And it's just so beautiful that you're able to get that from the Millionaires Mentorship Group. And you know, many people don't have an idea of what it entails to be there, but I know you do because you are there, you've been there from the beginning. And I just want to encourage people who are listening to us right now, who maybe you didn't hear about it and you missed out in joining, when every other person was joining. So I want you to know that you can still join the Millionaires Mentorship Group. A lot of people who have shared their testimonies, maybe not, at least some of them are also members of this group. So if you're there, you want to join the Millionaires Mentorship Group. This is a closed group where Dr. Sunday, mentors just a select group of people who are willing to pay the price. People who are willing to pay the price. People who are willing to pay attention and to be as proactive as Mrs. Adeola is. Not just wanting to just hear, but who are ready to practice and to put into their life and to create their own world. So Dr. Sunday has this group of people who is teaching the laws of money, teaching how to become millionaires themselves. So if you're there and you're listening and you want to join this closed group, the way to do it is to write to us at mentorship at godembassy.org. That is mentorship, mentorship at godembassy.org. That is it right there. So this is the Millionaires Mentorship Group. Apart from this, we also have the Who Am I, Why Am I Alive? This is also another mentorship, but this is a mentorship course, right? This is a course that you get, is a one-time course you get, where Dr. Sunday was explaining here, not just explaining, but it's actually a, taken by the hand kind of mentorship, where it takes you by the hand and shows you what you need to do, gives you the tools on how to discover your purpose, how to discover your calling, and how to fulfill your calling and your purpose. So if you're interested in this mentorship course, you can get it by writing to us at mentorship at godembassy.org, and we're going to guide you through on what you need to do and how to get it done. All right, so we're back to Mrs. Adeola, and on a final note, I know you're doing some things right now. Particularly, I know I've watched some of your recent videos. So tell us just a little bit, or share with us some of the things you're doing right now to impact your world.
Thank you, Dr. Anu. During one of our meeting with Dr. Sunday Adelaja, DSA, in the MSMG group.
Yeah.
We have assignments that we do every week. And in one of those assignments, DSA was asking us that, have you discovered your passion or your purpose? What steps are you taking to start? You should list what are the achievements, what are the things you plan to do?
Yeah.
What are the things you need? What step are you willing to take to start? That question was framed something like that.
Yes.
And when I did the assignment, I wrote, I submitted. Here we are in lockdown, so everybody's at home. So I had some people, their lockdown is not free for them. They still have to do the job, essential job, stuff like that. But for me, I have been looking at myself, that this same me that was delivered from being an extrovert, that God has made, and that was delivered from being an introvert to an extrovert. Even though so I don't want this experience waste. I begin to see that one-on-one, when I do call people, they ask me questions, I advise. Some of them will just wonder with what is, this level of information, how I'm well informed, and they will kind of appreciate what I'm saying. I know that I need to do something with this log. I can see myself, my passion is going out through the tools of trainings and education, engage the youth, because that is a way of giving back to my own world, all those things that I missed out of, the truth about life that I never knew and nobody was able to teach me then. I have the moral obligation to go and inform my world, to go and tell them. Before, I would say I don't have a platform, I don't know where to go, I don't have money to go to TV, I don't have money to go to radio, I don't have this, I don't have that. We are always good to see all the things that we don't have. Than the have. One afternoon, my daughter just walked into my room, saw me reading and doing stuff. Telling you have just been reading and reading. I don't even know what you're doing. She was saying, when are you going to start? You said you are going to do YouTube channel. Don't worry. I just answered her like I said, you need to be prepared. Before you start anything, you must make sure, she said that thing, but I need to tell you, she challenged me.
Wow.
I'm not saying the dream to start doing a training or to just give a platform and just share with people what I know, help them in the journey through motherhood or being a woman, still having a career, and you can still fulfill your God's given, or even as a single lady, that is the best version and best time in your life where you can discover God and be the best. And when my daughter said that, I saw a video of somebody that's one of the Nollywood in Nigeria. She was giving an interview on how she changed. I said, I look at myself, Adeola, you know better. You can do better than this girl. Better than this girl. You are here. You are here. You have internet. You have it. You are doing nothing. And with the assignment that I wrote the previous week, I told her, I'm going to. Do you know? I just packed myself. I left the house. I just took my phone, and I was getting ready. Though I still go to work, I was getting ready to go to work. I just put myself in a record mood. I just pressed record. I just did my first video. I already have a Facebook page that I just put motivational quotes and all that. I just did that video, and I got home the other day. The following day, I played it to my friends. I said, "Look at what I did. Wow, that was how." I said, wow. And they are like, my mom to watch, everybody, this is good, this is good. I said, that was how I just put it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that was how I started, because it's not something it's just 2 weeks. I need to tell you, Dr. Anu, it's 2 weeks. If you go to my channel, you look at the date, you see that this thing is just 2 weeks that it started. But the push was that I had a community that is challenging us to take action about our life, and that you don't just want something to happen, there's a step to take. And what step are you taking? Okay, you have the platform, you can do anything on Facebook free, you can do anything on YouTube free. So what is stopping you? So this is my gateway. I saw that I'm more of the mouth person. I love to talk. I love to be around people. I'm not the type that loves to be locked down, working in the classroom, so I want to be around. So I've been able to identify what are the things that. So I started. Okay, not just talking anything, not just talking like a talkative. Now, bringing out values out of your mouth to impact the world, to help people and help them discover what has led into your own transformation. So that is how it started. Beautiful. And today I can't even say the number of now that people I've done 3 videos in 2 weeks.
Beautiful.
Just
beautiful.
Thank you.
Awesome. And this is just the beginning, I tell you. I mean, there's an amazing future right ahead of you, not just for you, but even for your family, your daughters, and everyone in your family. You're on the right trajectory, and I mean, I'm just seated here, like I'm just I could see it already, the amount of lives that you are going to empower, and the people you're going to raise to be sons and to be daughters who would have understanding. It's just so beautiful to behold, and I'm so excited to just hear your story, and I'm grateful to God, for how far you've come, and despite your challenging, background, you decided to get up, and face the world, with confidence that yes, I'm ready to take my world by storm. And I've watched your videos, and I mean, I think you have your channels given to us. So we're going to show it, but can you let us know how can we find you on Facebook, on YouTube? What is your name?
Okay, thank you. The name of my YouTube channel is Lodeta Think Media.
Okay.
I started with Adeola Alli. So anybody that types Adeola Alli is going to see my face pop up, and that's the name. Good. But when I sat down, I wanted to look for a name that would say something about what I do. Mm-hmm. So I started Lodeta. Lodeta is something that I've put down. Yes, I said I will have a consulting company. Some of the things I've written down for many times that I don't even know how to say. So I just put think, because my own channel has to do with self-education and how to help people re-engineer their mind,
Beautiful.
get the education towards life. It's for young men and women who want to impact their world, and through trainings, interviews, through different tips and habits that are structured that can help them transform to the best version of whom they want to be. And I want to help them also in the journey of discovering themselves, that you don't have to wait on God, that you can start and the journey is smooth, and you can begin to live your life loving what you do and at the same time getting paid for it.
Beautiful.
That is balance, and that's the best way.
Beautiful. So that's your YouTube. Your YouTube is Lodeta Think Media. Then we can see your Facebook too. You also have a Facebook, right?
Facebook page. That's Lodeta Content. That's the name of the page.
All right.
Yes.
Good. Awesome. Well, Mrs. Adeola, we want to say thank you so very much for being with us today. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate you. And your testimony, I want to believe that people are inspired. I want to believe that people are encouraged by your journey and your experiences. And, go for gold, go for it. Let nothing stop you. Keep pushing, keep working hard on yourself, keep investing in your family, keep investing in those children. They are definitely the future. And I believe that even apart from your own personal children, even other youths that you say you have passion for, those people will also be your sons and, your daughters that you're going to raise, who would also even expand, your influence, your legacy. So, yeah, we are rooting for you. Go. We are rooting for you.
I want to thank so much, Jesse, because he broke the norm. See, today now, everybody is at home. Today is Sunday. Nobody is going to church. Maybe some are planning to reopen and stuff, but I thank God for his life and all the teaching he did. The teaching I listened to that changed my life, he already did those teachings. So there are teachings that have been on his page for years, maybe a few years before I even joined him. How blessed it is. And thank God that he heeded his own call and he decided to live his own life to have a mark. If he had not done such trainings, maybe I wouldn't have known that something like that could have. So that is, and those information are priceless. I want to appreciate DSA greatly for answering the call of God in his life and teaching us and modeling a life that you can accessible, you can be reachable. You don't have to be the high man of God that nobody can raise. Like you are not grace mate, you are not age mate, all those stuff that we say out there. That somebody like DSA, you can just type a note, sir, and you ask him any question, and he replies you. And you've not met any years, but you can see the bondness and the closeness, the encouragement that it gives you to know that these are ordinary men like you and I. Yeah. And so you can aspire to go for your dream so that you can believe that it's possible. And even his background is enough. So I can see where he started, I can see where I started, I can see how he transitioned, I can see how I can transition, I can see where he is now, and he's still not resting on his oasis. I know the future is bright. I have to continue. There's nothing like stopping down. Keep going for it. Fire yourself up. And that is why I really appreciate it. And I wish him more and more years of relevance. And I want to say it out there to people that are not open-minded, people that have a kind of mindset about the name DSA back home in Nigeria. I thank God that my pastor then used to tell me, separate issues from personalities. Mm-hmm. And thank God I hold on to that thing. Now, even people say so many things, crazy things about anybody, what are the truths that this man is saying that particularly affect your life? Can you be so humbled and go and take correction and learn from that? Instead of just dwelling on busybodies, chatting and talking negative things, and what do you have at the end of the day? You are still the same person, still mourning and lamenting in your same state. So I thank God I was able to take what is good, and that people out there, a lot of rumors that you cannot substantiate. So please go and discover the truths in the teachings of DSA. And I bet you will have more results than what you are seeing now.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you for being so gracious. Thank you for being, such an example and a model. And we look forward to, more of your videos. We look forward to more of your materials. And yeah, greater victories ahead of you. Awesome. So please send our love to your family, your husband, your children. And we're waiting for more videos also from them, from your daughters, So thank you for being with us. To our viewers who are watching us all over the world from Facebook, YouTube, I just hope that you are blessed as I am. And if you think this video would bless somebody, I would like to encourage you to share it. Share it to them. Maybe say a few words about the video that you think might maybe inspire them or motivate them to want to watch this video. Such an amazing testimony. Today is the 31st of May, and ordinarily it should be the end of our testimony. But guess what? We are not done yet. So there's an overflow. We have an overflow, right? So we have an overflow this time, and this testimony will keep. We're going to say have maybe some 5 more testimonies, or maybe even 6. So yeah, stay tuned. I hope you're not tired yet. So we still have some more testimonies that will be coming up during the later days of this week. So please join us same time tomorrow, 7 p.m. Kyiv time, 5 p.m. Nigerian time and UK time, for another testimony by another personality who has been transformed by the truth that Dr. Sunday teaches. And of course, we're giving thanks to God, for the opportunity to learn from Dr. Sunday, from his teaching. So if you're watching for the first time, you want to go visit the school that Mrs. Adeola described. That is Dr. Sunday's YouTube channel. Dr. Sunday Adelaja is the name. So please do well to go there, check it out. I'm hoping that you find answers to your questions. And also, Dr. Sunday has his books available, apart from the new book that I announced earlier, Why I Write Books, and why you too should write yours. Dr. Sunday has his books for free, available right now on Amazon Kindle Unlimited if you're a subscriber. And also you could get it on BAM Books, that is BAMBOOKS.io. If you subscribe to there, you can get over 100 of Dr. Sunday's books there, the e-format. You could also order for Dr. Sunday's books if you're in Nigeria on DSA's Book Planet, DSABooksPlanet.com. Well, thank you very much for being with us. My name is Anu Ojo, and I'm going to see you tomorrow evening. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.